This is the GAN 11M Pro, and it's currently the best Speedcube that money can buy. If you've seen the Speedcubers on Netflix, both Felix Zemdegs and Max Park currently use this cube. Oh, and the current world record holder for 3x3 average, Xu Ruihang, he uses this cube as well. For reasons you'll soon see, it's pretty much the perfect cube in every way, except for its price. At $70 US, you are paying a premium for this cube, and in fact, this variant I have right here is closer to $76. But for every problem that GAN gives us, it also provides a solution. This is the GAN 11M Duo, the GAN M, and the GAN Air. Now these aren't just three versions of the 11M Pro, I've made another video on that. They are three entirely different levels, all with the GAN 11 moniker, but really different internals. And check out their prices. The Duo comes in at $45, the 11M at $40, and the Air at $30 US. I should say that this is if you get your cubes at dailypuzzles.com.au. Not only are they a sponsor of this video, but they currently have a few of these cubes on sale, and if you use code TINGMAN at the checkout, you're gonna get another discount. So here's a reason to stop watching this video. If you own a tree that just grows money, get this guy, problem solved, goodbye. But if you don't have pockets stuffed full of cash, the question becomes, can I save some money without compromising on the quality that you get with that cube? Well, that's what this video is all about. So sit back, relax, and give me a few minutes of your time as we find out, is it possible to get the world's best Speedcube for cheaper? To make this as authentic as possible, I have not touched any of these three cubes before, only the 11M Pro, so I'm going to be discovering this along with you. The Air comes in a plain paper box, and to its credit, there's more in the box than just the cube. Often when you don't pay much for a cube, the cube is all you get. But this time, they do throw in this sort of suede pouch, which, while not being anything to write home about, is a nice touch. The 11M is going to come in this clear plastic box that we have seen GAN use for several years now. It's a cool, albeit strange case, but it does the job. First impressions, this cube is extraordinarily light. The 11M Pro is already a very light cube, and so calling this light, oh man, like what is this weight? Let me grab my scales real quick. The GAN Air weighs 49 grams. That is actually ridiculous. For comparison, a standard Rubik's Cube is going to weigh 108 or 110. Now, it's not exactly apples to apples, but this is less than half the weight of that cube. So I suppose that's why they call it the 11 Air. And I mean, it feels good. There is one very noticeable thing though, which gives it its low price, and that's its lack of magnets. 3, 4, 5 years ago, you'd be forgiven for getting a cube that didn't have any magnets, but in 2021, it doesn't make sense. And to its credit, it's turning really, really nice. But look at the cube. What magnets do is that they help with that last little bit of aligning. And so a magnet, for example, between these two pieces would cause it to just click into place. That last extra bit that's going to help you with those catches when you're sort of making turns where one layer may not be completely ready. You can make that next turn. Now, having said that, check that out. Beautiful corner cutting still on the 11 Air, and I mean that's what you expect from not just a GAN cube but the GAN 11. This is the latest of its technology, and so it's going to tick the box in terms of well constructed internals. That's that famous honeycomb design of theirs for that super smooth turning. I mean, it is everything that you want in a cube, minus the magnets. Popping this cap off, we can see that we do actually have some customizability, so we can actually turn that nut around to gain different spring tensions. If you're new to this, it basically means that if I adjust this nut here, it's going to make this orange layer move easier or less easy. So to say that the Air comes with no customization is not true. However, it doesn't come with magnets, which again, in 2021, is just an anomaly. Let's put this aside. Okay, let's fix this T-pump. I know a lot of you want me to do it, so you know what? I won't. I'm just gonna leave it like that to annoy all of you. Okay, fine, I won't. I can't even deal with it myself. Next step up at $40 is the GAN 11M. And as you can guess, M for magnetic. The 11M on paper at least is identical to the Air, except this time with the addition of magnets. And so exact same things that you can find inside. I'm expecting to see soft bag in here with nothing else, and there it is. Exact same box as before, and a very similar lightness. This has to be heavier because it now has a few dozen magnets inside, but let's open it up and see. It's still so light. But what did the scale say? This guy's gonna come in at 56 grams. Now that's a little bit strange because on paper it should be a little bit lighter than that. But hey, in practice, you really can't tell the difference. For all intents and purposes, it's still in the extremely light category. But what does it feel like to turn? Here we go. Oh man, a million times better. The addition of magnets is making a massive difference. And there it is right there. You can see the magnet, or at least the shadow of a magnet right there. And on this side as well. An innocent little thing, and yet enough that, check this out, I just move into place and click, it just goes right in. I can spam all sorts of moves, and it's just going to align. You know, when I finish it, I just don't have that weird kind of shape that I had with the 11 Air. Of course, all the benefits with it being a GAN cube are gonna come with this as well. Great corner cutting, customizable nuts to adjust. Ooh, that's different. Hey, okay, that is different. Okay, so I was already quite impressed with the 11 Air's generosity in giving us a cheaper cube that you can still customize. This is the numerical IPG tensioning system that came out in 2018. But with this guy, this is 2019's dual numerical IPG system. But see how there's that blue hexagon instead of a wider clear hexagon? Both of those nuts can turn. And that means that you're gonna have double, really, the levels of customizability that you would have with the 11 Air. This is actually the same advanced tensioning system that you're going to find in both the 11M Duo and the Pro, and so, wow, this M is quite a step up from the Air in that regard. You learn something new every day, boys. This is 2 steps up from the Air. Now, I do have more conclusions to make because I haven't opened those two yet to compare, but I'm going to call it right now. The M is a lot better than the Air. For $10 more, or about a third extra of the price, you're not just getting a third extra improvement. This is a whole new level. The GAN 11M, it's a really nice cube. We push on though. The 11M Duo, what secrets do you have in store, my friend? From a branding perspective, you can already see that GAN is trying to position the 11M Duo as quite distinct from the Air and the M. For starters, the packaging. I mean, this has to be one of the most gorgeous boxes ever. And I said that about the 11M Pro, but look, they have a little bit of an upgrade. It's got a bit more of that, sort of that dotted pattern all around, and I dig it. I know many of you might just take it out and say goodbye to the box, but I totally would keep this box. It is so, so pretty. I'm expecting it to look quite different on the inside as well. And indeed it does. So this blue suede back as usual, but look at this. We've now got different nuts that we can use with this sort of plastic tensioning tool. And looky here, a completely different box. You might have seen this before. It never gets old. Put your thumb and your other finger on each of those GAN logos and give it a little press. Interestingly, it's not wrapped in plastic, even though it's completely brand new. Uncle Tingman would approve. The 11M Duo has that same tensioning system as you saw before in the 11M. Magnets in the corners, just like we saw with the 11M as well. So what's so different about it? The answer is this. Now you had to be me, because it's not something I can say in words. It feels, how do I even begin? It's so much more stable. And the reason for that is entirely internal. It's time to break the cube. So the 11M Duo and the 11M, those are those magnets that we were referring to before. Nothing different here. The pieces look exactly the same. But check out them corners. So that looks all the same with those magnets that you can see there. But there's an extra magnet right there in the middle. This one just full on has a gaping hole. That's so great. Why is there a magnet there? I mean, like, what's that touching? Doesn't that go to the center of the cube? Well, guess what? Look at the center of this cube. The core of this cube is magnetically attracted to the 8 corner pieces. Let's take an entire layer out actually, so we can just appreciate the brilliance here. Naturally, the core is going to be connected to those 6 center pieces, right? I mean, it literally like pivots, so obviously it's attached there. But there is nothing in most cubes holding the corners in place, not for the Duo. And I wonder if that's why it's called the Duo, because of that double magnet system. The M already had 48 magnets, which is pretty impressive, but this guy has 64. Every single one of the corners. Watch. There's just that little extra bit of stability that you're gonna get from all 8 corners of the cube. And what that feels like in practice is just a really stable solve. And so for $5 more, you're getting a cube that's on a completely different level. I mean, magnets are great and they hold this cube together really, really well, but it can still warp that little bit. This cube, on the other hand, it's gonna warp that little bit less, and therefore it's gonna misturn that little bit less as well. Of course, if you have my skill level, you can still mess up your solves. Don't worry. But it's just gonna be that little bit harder to do so. You know, it's just gonna be that little bit more stable, and it's hard to describe. It feels fantastic. 11M, 11 Air, 11 Duo. How about the Pro? Let's open it up and see. At $70, you would expect this guy to be significantly better than the other cubes. I mean, comparing the most expensive, this guy, to the least expensive, the Air, this is more than twice the price. You can get two, no more than two of the Airs with one of this. So what do you get with the Pro? For starters, you get this card, which is cool. In your accessories, I imagine you're gonna get something similar to the Duo. Oh, no, you get something extra. Wait, there's something in here too. Oh, you get a little screwdriver with a safety tip. I like that. And in here, oh my gosh, that's right. I'm remembering now. So this same adjustment tool, like you get in the Duo, but look at that. Recognize these guys? Those are the corner magnets. So not only can you customize the tensioning, you know, the sort of turning strength of the cube, you can even customize the strength of the magnets of the corners here. And if my memory serves me right, wait, hang on. I love it. You can even customize, wait, there it is, the strength of the side magnets. There it is, 1, 2, and 3. By default, it's set to 2, which I believe is the same magnet strength setting that you're going to get on the 11M Duo and maybe the 11M as well. But in this case, I can move that to a 1 or move it to a 3 and get a weaker or a stronger magnet setting. And I mean, that's what Pro means, right? Apple releases all sorts of products with Pro at the end of the name, which in some ways has just ended up meaning you can operate it at a high level, you can customize it, you can do a lot of things with it that you wouldn't even think about as a beginner. And that's what you get with the 11M Pro. Oh, I actually forgot to get the weight of that 11M Duo before. Let's do that now. So the 11M Duo is going to come in at 59 grams, and the 11M Pro is going to come in at 63 grams. So light, heavier, heavier, heaviest. And if you pick these two up, I mean, I guess you can like just tell, but we're talking about a difference of what? 13 grams, 14 grams? It's honestly quite hard. I really shouldn't have been saying heavy, like really it's like light, lighter, lighter, and lightest. If cube weight is a factor for you, I'm just gonna say it right here, you really don't feel the difference very much. But what you do feel is how this guy turns. I don't know why I did that. The 11M Pro has that smoothness and incredible feel of the Air. It's got the magnets of the M. It's got the corner magnets of the M Duo. And then add to that customizability of both the magnets there, the magnets that come out of the core, that incredible adjustment system from before. And you can see why it's called the Pro. It really is the best cube out of this 4. But is it worth its, where is it? $70 price tag? There is one thing that I failed to do this entire time, which you may have noticed, and that is I haven't given any of these cubes even one solve. Of course, if you want it to be fair, I would, I don't know, live with these cubes for several weeks and just take my time getting to know them. But I found that doing something like, I don't know, 25 solves straight gives me a really good impression of what the cube is like. And so that's what I'm going to do. 100 solves in total, and we're going to come back and see what these cubes feel like. Montage time. Well, that was fun and surprisingly both what I expected, but also not. I mean, on one hand, Yes, as amazing as the 11 Air is, I mean, compared to a lot of other Speedcubes, this baby is amazing. That GAN premium quality, that lightness, it's amazing. But based on my solve times, I mean, you can see for yourself, it doesn't hold a candle to these three guys. $30 is cheap for a GAN cube, but it's quite expensive for other really quite good speed cubes. And so I like what you did, GAN, taking risks with this cube, but I cannot recommend it. But how about these guys? Well, based on my times, I mean, it looks like there is a clear winner, but if you look more closely at the data, confidence intervals and all that stuff, it probably strictly isn't a significant difference. And so I would say in some ways, these three fare quite similarly based on solve times, maybe a little bit less with the 11M, and then these guys being in their own league. So what conclusion do we draw from this? Is it worth getting this guy? We've ruled this one out, because for $10 more, getting magnets in the 11M, I mean, it's completely different. You now get this stable cube that's, for $40 for a GAN cube, it is incredible. It is one of the cheapest magnetic GAN cubes on the market right now, and I do actually recommend this. But for $5 more, you are getting a much more beautiful box. I'm just kidding. Oh, well, I mean, it is a beautiful box. But you are getting corner magnets. You are getting what sets the 11M apart. You're getting all the brilliance of this year's technology, the latest in what GAN has to offer for $5 extra. The corner magnets honestly make a big difference. So if you can afford $40, can you afford $5 more for what's way more than $5 worth of value? But then again, if you've paid $45 for this, I mean, that's just an extra. This is $25 more. Like we've said, this is, and I mean, again, this is the UV coated version, which you can tell from the super shiny exterior. It's the one that Felix Mdex uses, which would make this like $76, nearly $80. We're talking like almost double the price of this. Are you getting that much more with the customizable, edge magnets and the corner magnets? With the option to get this special UV coating or even like a soft coating, is it worth $25 more? Is it worth $30? Is it worth $40 more than this? And the answer is no. But not no for everyone. I mean, I'm a GAN fanboy. I'm unashamed to say that. And so yeah, if you gave me the choice, I'm gonna go for the best one. I love the latest in what cube companies have to offer. I'm willing to invest in something great because this is my main, and it's what I'm going to be using in competitions. When there are competitions, it's amazing. But for most consumers out there, and I mean, I hope you can appreciate how honest I'm being here, because most stores and companies are going to want you to pay the most, right? I think it makes a lot more sense to get these two guys, and it really makes the most sense to get this guy. Wow, I can't believe it. I honestly didn't know if I'd have a clear conclusion to this video, but I actually do. You can solve like Felix, you can solve like Max Park and Rihung, and all you need is this cube. And an incredible amount of skill and experience, but that cube. If you're grateful for the fact that I just saved you $25, why don't you support this channel by taking your $25 and hitting the subscribe button with it? Like, roll the notes up and just like smack your phone with the money. And then go out and, buy you and the missus something real nice with it. You could also show your thanks to me by checking out these other videos that I've made that I think you'll enjoy as well. I look forward to reviewing the 12M Pro when it comes in just a few months. I'm just kidding. That's not a leak or anything. I actually have no idea what GAN's doing, but that's probably what they're gonna do. And yeah, bye. Subscribe.